I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, Supreme Team? Welcome to the channel. It's your girl, DYANAROZAY, and I'm here to bring y'all the latest review for RHOA, episode 7. And y'all see the artwork. Drew Sidora, Dennis the Menace, and Portia P. Willie Williams, y'all. Listen, I know we all have been talking about this storyline being, a little fraudulent, a little fake, a little fugazi. But after what I saw last night on episode 7, Drew and Portia are really at war with each other, because there is no way in hell Portia had her sister and her friends talking over Drew's head last night, and she said some nasty stuff. But basically, they said Drew somewhere on her knees, child, picking up Dennis the Menace's belly and putting her mouth on his things, okay? Y'all know what I'm talking about. That was nasty work. There's no way. You couldn't do that for fake over me. And then Portia went into confessional and doubled down on it, saying that Dennis likes to tell her about his conquests, and being a receiver is his favorite pastime. He likes to receive, and implied that Drew likes to give. So at the end of the day, I'm going to treat these two like they are really at war from this point forward, okay? We'll talk a little bit more about them, but I did want to just share. That was nasty work, Portia. Nasty, okay? Let's move on to Brit and Mike. They open the scene. Oh, Lord. And by the way, there is all kinds of rumors out there on the internet right now, on social media, about Brit Edie's husband being a receiver and a giver, okay, allegedly. This is coming by way of Tasha K. She had a young man on there who had receipts. Tasha says she was rolling with it. She said, I saw the receipts. Ain't nobody going to sue her for nothing. So she is pushing that story out. Brit, good luck, child. Okay, good luck. Let's get into the scene, all right? So Brit shows up on this car lot with her husband, Mike. She wants everybody to know that she's flossing. So she says, remember, you told me I can get a new car every 2 years. And he actually said, oh, did I say that? Did I promise that? And he made the face he's making right there, child. He usually has that face too. Anyway, because Brit's going to milk the Kenya situation for all it's worth, in confessional, she said that she's been having a rough couple of weeks. And, some days she just cry and she can't even get out of bed. But she said, you can't keep a bad bitch down. And that's when they showed Brit inside of a car, this one right here, feeling the interior, revving up the engine, talking about how it sounded good. And out of nowhere, child, Brit kicked up her leg. Her foot was literally over her head, did a whole split, showed off her cooch, and told her husband, like, do you think we can get it done in here? He looks at her and he could barely get the words out. He said, put your leg down. You're doing too much. Like, he screams it. But listen, you could tell even when she did it, that was a natural reaction for her. That's something she does all the time, which is why people are out here in these social media streets trying to call her out for all the pictures they have in their phone. Child, if you would just tell the truth, you wouldn't have to remember the lie. If your natural instinct when you are sitting inside of a nice vehicle or someone's going to buy you something nice is to show off your cooch or to put your puss on display, even if it's in front of the car salesman, then child, come on. Just 2 seconds ago, you were saying you could barely get out of bed. You was crying so much. Brit, you're a liar. Anyway, She tries to get back into character. Her and her husband sidebar off to, what, behind another car. And she is letting him know that, or he says something like, how are things with Angela, right? Fake conversation. How are things with Angela? First of all, Mike, how do you even know that woman's name is Angela? Like, what's up with that? Come on, okay? But long story short, she says that Angela isn't a girl's girl like she thought she was, and that she has no empathy for her. And then she basically said, how dare Angela question her about her insurance being under investigation? Well, ma'am, we're all questioning you at this point. We all have heard the story, and we all know that you were lying. We all know that that was a lie. Your insurance was never under investigation. And if it was true, you would have already published the paperwork that said under investigation and free and clear. You didn't do any of that because you were using it for a storyline. But long story short, at the end of the day, what we know about Brit in this scene alone is that, yeah, what comes naturally to her is that she kicks her legs up. Okay, she does the splits. She lets everybody know that she will do whatever it takes for the bag. Okay, that's number one. Number two, she is a bold-faced liar, and she is a fraud. And I'm just putting it out there, she will burn down anybody's house like a 13-year-old, even though you know they're lying. She will still burn it down to try to make everyone believe her lie. Like, growing up, everybody probably did this as a little girl or boy, where your parents literally have to sit you down and say, girl, everybody knows you're lying and you're not going to embarrass yourself or me anymore. Okay, get your shit together and cut it out. I don't know why Brit missed that conversation, but she's about to get a hard lesson, because the way people are coming for her on this internet right now, child, whew, we don't know if you're going to be back for season 17, okay? Moving on. So Drew Sidora visits the Oakley estate. She is there to see Angela, and she is rocking a $5,795 purse, okay? A Lieber clutch. When she walked in, Angela recognized it right away and said, girl, is that a Lieber? She said, yes, it is. I knew where I was coming today, so I wanted to make sure that I dressed the part. Child, don't let Ralph get a hold of that bag and take it to the pawn shop, child. But Angela gets Drew out back on the deck, child. Looks so pretty back there. She had this nice punch in a what do you call it? I don't even know what to call it. It's like a punch glass or whatever. And she had vodka in it. And Drew decided to double down on Michael Jordan being her damn cousin. I don't even know why she brought it back up, but she does. And Angela gives her a side eye and she goes, well, I talked to Marcus, as in Marcus Jordan, Michael Jordan's son, child. She said, I talked to Marcus, and yeah, he said y'all aren't related. Oh my God. Drew says, well, I told you I was joking. And that's when we get this flashback, because production is shady as hell. Production shows a flashback. Drew never said she was joking. In fact, people were so excited, Portia and Shamia in particular, that she was Michael Jordan's cousin, that they were high-fiving each other like, well, girl, we about to film some scenes over there. Either way, she says, after saying I was just joking, Drew decides to throw her mama under the bus and said, well, my mother was the one who told me we were probably related. Drew, oh my God, you have to stop. Anyway, in confessional, Angela said, I really wanted Drew to be telling the truth, but who in the hell does this? I haven't heard anybody lie about somebody being their cousin since grade school. Oh my goodness. Anyway, Drew asks Angela how she's doing. She tells her it's been a rough couple of days and that Brit did not make it any easier at that peace brunch, okay? She said that she was tired of her, and to make it even worse, the food wasn't cooked good, okay? She said that them grits needed more cooking, okay? Drew says, speaking of Brit, she sent me a text message. She wants us to have drinks. I left her on red though, because I'm not sure if I want to put myself in that situation. So whatever, Drew. Anyway, Drew also said that her and Ralph are still going through it. They had a court date at the end of the week, and it was really important for her to keep her court documents or court file closed. She said, I have kids, and I do not want those kids to know that mommy and daddy are fighting. And the whole time she was saying it, I was like, for all of us at home watching Drew and Ralph, we could feel the tension and the nastiness and the ugliness through the screen, girl. So if your kids are around that at all, they already know what's going on. He's living in the basement, for Pete's sake. But this is the excuse she wants to put out there to keep that damn court case closed. But we all know it is a lie. Okay, moving on to the next. So Miss Kelly is throwing another lunch or dinner or something for the girls. Hopefully the food is cooked completely this time. She had her sister there, beautiful sister, by the way, who was cooking all the things, had some like broccolini and some other things going. And Cynthia, Portia, and Portia's ass and Shamia are all invited for the brunch. Now, when Portia shows up, she just walked right in, child, and Portia was going up them steps, and the way her body was hunched over to accommodate carrying that behind of hers, it was crazy. But even though I watched that and thought, well, this is peculiar that they would show her going up the steps like this, it was even more peculiar to see Bravo split the scene horizontally instead of vertically. Oh my God. Oh my God. So usually when you split the screen, there's someone on the right and someone on the left, right? This time they split the screen from the bottom and Shamia was walking in, but they did it in such an awkward way. And it was all to cover Portia's butt. It was all to cover up Portia's butt. I don't know. Somebody over there at Bravo must have said, we can't use this scene this way. It's too, I don't know, obscene maybe, but they cut the scene, child. It was hilarious to me. Anyway, child, you better watch it out over there, Portia. They already got rid of Kenya. This is not good. If y'all remember when Portia first got them clappers enhanced, okay, even though she said it's cornbread fed, when she had came back that season after she had put hands on Kenya, they had some sort of outing where the girls were climbing up in a mountain and the camera crew literally were looking up at Portia's butt, and they kept that camera up there. And even when they made it to the reunion, Andy Cohen was like, yeah, we all heard about what happened when you guys were climbing that mountain, Portia. And she was laughing and stuff. He was like, yeah, like I saw the footage. I mean, it was circulating with everybody. That was a horrible day. This time they're covering you up, girl. So keep that in mind. Okay. Anyway, there's a scene with Cynthia talking about she is officially a cougar now because only younger men find her worthy. Okay, they want to date her and hang out with her, whereas men her age want women younger. Okay, so I guess production asked her, well, what do you want out of a man? What do you need? And she gave a laundry list so long, child, that they just kept cutting the scene and she was still going. They would cut the scene and she was still going. And the entire time I was like, well, neither Peter or Mike Hill had these qualities, but I guess that's why she got a list now. So kudos to her. She said that she is in love and enjoying herself. Miss Kelly shared that her dog was stolen. She said that she had put out a reward for the dog and everything, ended up finding the pooch on Craigslist. Okay. And now she paints him pink, blue, green, whatever. He basically looked like Cyndi Lauper. Y'all remember Cyndi Lauper used to have all them colors in her head, taste the rainbow. Anyway, she said that her dog is going to be colored up from this point forward. They're going to know when they take their little baby. Okay. And then what else did they talk about? Of course, they had to rehash the damn peace brunch. Everybody said that they felt sorry for Brit, but she was, wilding out. Shamia said it was a hot mess. They also asked Portia, this is all going down at the brunch, child. They also asked Portia if things had moved forward between her and Drew. And she said, no, she's done with Drew. She's done with it. Drew's a liar. She ain't really going to rehash anything anymore. But she did let the ladies know that she was having a Cowboy Carter birthday party and everybody except for Drew was invited. Okay. This is when Portia calls Angela on the phone. While she's calling Angela, Drew is there and she's letting Angela know about the birthday party. Angela says, do you mind if I can invite a plus one? And Portia said, you're going out, child. I'm losing the signal, and hangs up on her. So there's that. In confessional, though, Cynthia says that she knows for a fact that Portia is hurting about her friendship with Drew and that she would like for them to be cool again. But like I said, based on the last scene, I think Portia put a nail in that coffin. Moving on. So we get a scene with Drew Sidora and Brit Edie. I guess Drew accepted Brit's invite for drinks, child. And here they're going to hash out all the things that Brit has been accused of. Insurance fraud, a prostitute, and an escort. And Drew didn't waste any time. They ordered a damn drink with some tequila in it. Apparently, tequila gets things started. They had lemon drops with tequila. And Drew said, listen, have you ever sold it? Britt said, sold what? Drew said, the cat. That was so fake and played, but it was funny. She said, the cat. And Britt says, no, okay? Then, this was the funny part. Drew asked Britt if she has ever done corn. You know what I'm talking about? With a P, corn. Now, no is a one-syllable word, and it is universal. Every language can say no, but Brit completely starts stuttering and losing her train of thought, did not know how to answer this question, child. It was like God came down from the sky and said, I will smite you right now if you try to lie. She could not get the words out. It took her it felt like 2 minutes and a half to say no, y'all. It was funny, but she ends up saying, no, I did webcam. And when I did webcam, it was with a friend, and she, a female friend. And we only did it for a week. It wasn't even, just a week. And Drew said, did you make good money? And she went, well, yeah, it was good money. Girl, if you only did it for a week, child, the lies. Oh my goodness. So anyway, this is what she wants us to believe, that she was only a webcam girl, nothing else. She's done nothing else in these streets, even though all these people have all this information about her. And in that week, she made all of her wealth. You know what I'm saying? She made the majority of her wealth in that week on webcam. And the rest of it came from 2 years at Allstate. That was the bulk. Okay? Is everybody believing this? Because I was taught that if it look like a duck, walk like a duck, talk like a duck, it's a duck, girl. You are giving duck. The lies. Oh my goodness. Anyway, moving forward, that's what she is giving at the moment. Next scene, child. It is Drew and Ralph, and this was hilarious. Y'all see it says Ralph's home video. So Ralph actually provided this footage of him, and I believe that guy behind him is his brother, because they kind of have similar features. But Ralph provided this footage to production of him walking out of the house from his basement entry and getting into a private Uber, one of the Uber Blacks, to head over to the Coat House to give Drew that spanking, okay? So you guys, from the second Drew comes on screen, she is moving funny in this scene, okay? She comes out of the garage and she sees that Ralph's car is still there. So she believes that she's leaving before him. And she's like, oh, thank God, Ralph is still here. Someone says to her, no, he already left. And she's like, oh shit. Like she's upset about that, right? So Drew gets to court, and this is where she wants everything to be sealed. She wants the case to remain sealed, remain sealed. She wants Ralph to move out of the basement. This is what she wants the judge to do. Move Ralph out of the basement, make him pay child support, and seal her case. Okay. And basically was denied all three. Do you hear me? All three things. So she is inside of the truck, headed back out, and she is upset. And she's like, I don't know what's going on. Why would he want this case to be unsealed? This is a nightmare. This is what Drew Sidora is saying in the car, and her sister's trying to keep her okay. And whatever friend she has in the back, he's like, I'm so sorry, Drew. In confessional, production asked Drew, what is in this case that you're afraid of people seeing? And Drew swallows hard as hell and said, it's not about me. It's mostly Ralph. Yeah, mostly Ralph. Drew, oh my goodness, get out of town. If it's about Ralph, you should not be this hurt, girl. You know what I think it is, y'all? I think that Drew likes women. Y'all remember this video or post of Drew and Ty Young? Ty was engaged to Mimi. What's her last name? Faust. She was engaged to Mimi Faust. Mimi from Stevie J Mimi. And I think that is it. I think her mother is, a minister, and she has this whole religious guilt. Drew, you like what you like, child. But I think that's it, because y'all remember the one season, there was a young lady on who I also think may have been bisexual. And the way Drew was coming after her and throwing all kinds of Bible quotes and stuff at her, I think Drew is trying to hide those things. And I think that Ralph put them in the case, because what he ended up saying was he needed an even playing field, that he was real satisfied with the judge granting him the ability to stay in the house. He doesn't have to pay child support, nothing. And also having that case unsealed. He said that it puts them on even playing ground, okay? Drew in her black truck is passing Ralph while he's outside talking to the lawyers and enjoying himself. And I guess he gloats. He says something that sounds like he might be gloating. And Drew screams out the window, "You dumbass!" Like she's so upset with him for having that case unsealed, child. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to be looking for it so I can tell y'all what's going on, okay? Moving on to the next scene. So everybody is traveling to get to Nashville for Portia's Cowboy Carter birthday event, okay? And Portia said that she wants everybody to have a good time. However, if anybody gets out of line, she's just going to cuss their ass out and get rid of some of that divorce stress, okay? But everybody is on the plane. They're all excited. Everybody gets there except for Angela, who somehow misses the flight. She missed her flight, child, trying to get some stuff. I don't know if she had to double back or what, but she has to take a second flight. Kelly finds out, and y'all know they're about to get the menopause jokes off. So they're like talking about how she had to get her fan and all kinds of things, right? The ladies are all at the place. So we are missing Angela, we are missing Drew Sidora, and then Portia had invited her sister. Monyetta is also there, and I believe two other ladies that are her friends and not a part of the, the show. So they're all going to be arriving as well. But yeah, the ladies are there, and they're doing what they traditionally do, run throughout the house and pick their rooms. Of course, someone's going to be pissed and upset. That is a given. When they all get settled, Portia ends up talking a little bit about how her and Simon used to travel around their birthday. They would use the whole month to travel because Simon's birthday and her birthday are in the same month, y'all. So she said this is a new memory that she has to, get set up with her girlfriends, because those 3 years of traveling with Simon is heartbreaking for her. She got to get over that hump. You understand? Okay. So anyway, Angela finally comes through and she drops the news that Drew is invited, but not before she gives Brit, who is making all kinds of faces when Angela walks in, like she can't stand her. Angela bends down, hugs her a little bit, goes sits down, at a different seat. And of course, Miss Brit Edie had to ask her if she was being genuine. Oh my God, girl, get yourself together. I've never seen anybody this insecure on a reality show before. Anyway, back to Drew and Angela. Angela is letting the people know, I did invite Drew to be here. We talked about it, but she says in confessional, Portia said that she could coexist when we were all over Shamia's house. So I believe I can mediate that. We should all be able to get along. For those of us watching, we should know that production said Drew's coming. I don't care which one of y'all want to take it. Okay, but Drew is coming, period. Okay, that's just how it works. But Portia's like, listen, I don't want no mess. I'm not going to be the mean girl or any of those things, right? It is what it is. They also get into a conversation about how Brit saw Angela at the mall, and Angela had hid behind a clothes rack or inside of a clothes rack. Angela had shared in another scene that she had her nose filled with Botox in order to make it look less pinched. I'm sorry, Angela, because I really do like you. But Shamia really must have got in Angela's head when she was calling her LaToya Jackson nose. So she ended up going to get Botox inserted in the nose so that I guess the muscle could loosen and it wouldn't look as pinched. And she actually looked really, really good. She actually looked really, really good, but it is what it is. Anyway, while Brit Edie is in her confessional, she says, well, she just ran for me. And I got the impression that she was had a little surgery done. Oh, Lord. Again, I'm going to call Brit out because at the beginning of this episode, you were acting like you were crying day and night, couldn't get out of your bed because you were exposed for your before and after surgery pics and all the other things. So this just seems like the mean girl shit you said other women do to you. I don't know. You didn't have to say that at all. You could have just said you saw her at the mall. The girl looked good. You didn't understand why she was running away, and let her tell her story if that's how you felt. But again, if you would simply tell the truth about who you are, you wouldn't have to remember your lies because you're doing exactly what you said you didn't like other women doing to you. Okay. And by the way, nobody wants to give you a hug, child. Nobody. This is how all this stuff started. Everybody should just stop giving her hugs. Okay. Anyway, all the girls go to their respective rooms to get dressed for the night's festivities. They're calling their husbands, their friends, whomever to, tell them what's going on. Angela ends up calling her husband, Charles, who act like he couldn't hear her. It was funny. And then she calls Drew to say, listen, girl, I broke the ice. I did my part. So if you want to come get this check, get your ass on a plane and get on down here to Nashville. Everybody knows you're coming. Drew says, I'll have to think about it because I had a bad day in court and I don't want no bullshit. Okay. So that's how it ends. And then all the ladies head out to a bar. They ride the mechanical bull, just like Beyonce said. Okay. Look at that horse. Look at that horse. Look at that horse. While all of this is going on, Drew Sidora is in Atlanta, y'all. She is at Dennis's club crew, and her entire voice changed when she is on the phone with Dennis, like the way a girl would change her voice when she's talking to a man. Hey, bro. She says, hey, bro, but that it wasn't a hey, bro sound. Okay. Hey, bro is like, hey, bro. You know what I'm saying? She was like, hey, bro. Oh my God. Thank you for the bottle. Like it was too much for me. But she's doing all this. She's sitting at one of his clubs with her sister, and she's talking about this is a night for her to celebrate because the production of her album, something about her album being complete. But it just seemed like a weird thing to do. You and your sister could have went anywhere. Y'all didn't have to go to crew, and especially don't go to crew if Dennis isn't there. I realize Dennis is a part of the project, but there's just some things that you don't do. She is filming in Dennis's club, giving Dennis promo, putting Dennis on her FaceTime. And she's doing all of this, and it just didn't look right. But while she is doing all of this, Portia and Portia's friends are getting their rocks off. Do you hear me? And that is when, well, first, let me back up, child, because Portia and Angela gets into it first. So I already told y'all, Portia is telling the group, because they're all like, well, we're cool with Drew coming. She tells the group, I'm not going to, damper everybody's time. I'm not going to be a mean girl if Drew shows up. And then she says, I even picked Drew's room. And she has 2 beds and everything. When production flashes to the room, it's the room with the bunk beds. It's the room with the bunk beds. And we already know that when people don't like each other and you are hosting, you're going to get the shitty room, and that's on period. That is exactly what Portia is doing right now. Then Angela tells Portia, why don't you just put your issues on the table? Everybody keeps asking Portia to put her issues on the table. Her friends intercept and they say, nah, this is her birthday. Let this shit be. She doesn't want to rehash all this mess on her birthday. In confessional, Portia said, listen, I thought that Angela was calm and quiet and demure. She said, but she's not. She's demanding and very stressful. And she's doing too much, okay? Whew. That is when Portia and Angela are at the table, child. Angela got her hat half on, half off, because that hat is cooking Angela underneath, okay? All that head heat warms your body like nothing else. So Angela got her hat pulled halfway off her head. Portia takes a swipe at that wig, because y'all know Angela's wig been pulling up damn near every scene. And she said, what kind of wig glue are you motherfucking using on that wig? Okay. What type of wig glue is that on your mother effing wig? Okay. Everybody at the table is floored except for Cynthia and Manetta. Them two had a smile on their face like, baby, here we go. Okay. Angela said, first off, don't talk to me like I'm a damn kid, okay? I am not a child. Portia said, I'm not talking to you like a kid. I'm talking to you like you're the age you are. And Angela said, cool, then let me be 5. Portia said, more like 55. Now everybody is like, oh shit. Like they know that this is a fight between Angela, who I believe Angela bucks, and clearly we've seen Portia buck, so we know what's up with that, right? But they are shading the hell at each other. Angela has a smile on her face though, because she knows what it is at the end of the day. But they go back and forth. Portia tries to make light of it at the end. She starts laughing. She was like, you just never told me. Angela said, that's a lie, Portia. I did tell you. You tried to pretend like you didn't hear me when we were on that FaceTime call. But if you didn't want her here, you should have said it then. Okay. Portia said, it is what it is. She's on her way. And you keep making it a bigger deal than it needs to be. I'm just saying, forget it, because now you got everybody asking, well, where's Drew? Where's Drew? We don't need all of that energy. Okay. So Portia's like, this is about me. Keep Drew. She ain't here. She ain't here. Angela says something like, all I was trying to do is stop people from talking about the girl when she wasn't here. I don't like for people to be talking about people when they're not present, okay? Which was a good thought to have, child, but it really just opened up the door for a whole nother can of worms, okay? But Portia basically is like, whatever. Then one of Portia's friends said, well, what is this deal with Drew? Because I didn't know y'all had beef. What's up with Drew? Portia just tries to make light of it. She said, listen, she was doing some undercover shit. And, she mixed business with personal, and I had to get rid of her on the business end. That's when Lauren chimes in, Portia's sister, and said, well, it was a little more than making music with Dennis. Okay, that's what we hear. A little bit more than making music with Dennis, allegedly. And then another friend chimes in and she just says, well, she was sucking his dick. And that, my friends, is how that table scene ended. It was bad. In confessional, that's where we hear Portia say that Dennis liked to tell her about his conquest and he's a receiver. So anytime, if y'all out there, child, I don't know who you are, but if you were lifting up this man's stomach, okay, to please him, just know he goes back and tells P. Willie everything. She said that he comes back and be like, oh, well, nah, she just sucked my dick. She just sucked my dick. She just sucked my. I was like, you got to be kidding. And she smiled without saying, you know, he told me Drew did it, but she smiled to imply it. You hear me? Nasty work, y'all. Nasty work. But that is the end of episode 7. Talk to me in them damn comments. Tell me what y'all think of the episode, of the review of all of it. Okay. Hit the like button, share the video, please, and thank you. Become a subscriber if you are not already. Make sure you're following me on all my platforms at DYANAROZAY. And I appreciate y'all for rocking with me, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.